lot of towns on Delmarva, a lot of old towns on Delmarva, and one of the oldest in Delaware is Lewes.
It was founded in 1631 and has been going strong since, and some say the spirits of the original residents remain as well.
Yeah, and I recently went on a tour of some of the older buildings in Lewes to find out where these spirits may hang out.
There's a lot of history here. Anytime you have a community that's over 375 years old, there's bound to be a lot of history here.
As executive director of the Lewes Historical Society, Mike DiPaolo knows a lot about the town, fact and folklore.
There's always been stories. One of the earliest stories was about something called the Bad Weather Witch, which supposedly would fly around the Cape and sort of bring sailors in, ships in, wreck them on shoals, and supposedly brought in the bad weather that would cause havoc with the shipping and the sailing.
But most of the stories come from about a 3-block area in the heart of the town, like the Cannonball House.
In this building, at one time this was the home of Susan Rowland, and she died. Her dress caught on fire when she was cooking in the fireplace. There's a door in the back room that where she died that sometimes opens by itself, closes by itself, and people have heard some strange things and maybe seen some things in here that they can't quite explain.
But when an event lines up with what happens at the house, it's hard to imagine any other explanation.
There's a house on 2nd Street where a gentleman fell down the stairs and died. And recently this summer, they kept hearing strange noises coming down the stairs. And doing a little bit of research, we found, well, somebody actually died falling down the steps of that house.
DiPaolo says he himself has experienced some strange phenomena in the Dr. Hiram R. Burton house, where his office is located now.
A couple summers ago, I heard some kids playing in the house, and I looked out the window and thought maybe there were kids playing in the yard, and I knew there was nobody else in the house, and I distinctly heard children playing.
The following year, his wife and a friend were in the house and heard the same kids playing.
We do know that down in St. Peter's Cemetery there's the grave of a little girl named Mary Burton, who's only 4 days old when she died, and she was born and died in this house. Not only was this house built on 2nd Street and moved here, the entire house came with it. The foundation did as well.
Next door is the Burton Ingram house. It's home to some more recent encounters.
They wanted to know if they could go to the 3rd floor of the house, which is closed off to the public. It's just where the HVAC is. And they said, "Can we go to the 3rd floor?" And before they could get a response out, everybody heard, "No, James is there." This is the Rabbit's Ferry house. It was built about 1741, and then last year people did report capturing a couple strange things on film, on their cameras or on their phones, and also getting some strange readings in here from the electrical reading meters.
Ghost hunters have visited many of these buildings throughout the years.
A couple years ago, a group came and set up camp here for several hours. They set up cameras, infrared cameras, microphones. They had meters that were for electrical discrepancies, things of that nature. And it was quite an experience to sit there with them. I was here the whole time. But
what they did pick up was deemed unexplainable. So for now, visitors will just have to keep their eyes and ears open in case they get an unexpected visitor from the past.
Scary.
It's pretty spooky. You know, you hear those stories and walk through those houses, and it's kind of like...
When you're actually in there, you feel a little weird, unsettled.
And you can get your chance this weekend, as a matter of fact. The Lewes Historical Society is having Historic Haunts of Lewes. In this 3-hour program, you will learn about ghosts and the tools used to explore paranormal activity, view firsthand live data as it's being collected, and go into their buildings to investigate for yourself. Now, there are 2 sessions tonight. And then there's 2 sessions tomorrow night. Now, the first is from 7 to 10 p.m. and the second is from 10:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. The cost is $25 per person and recommended for age 13 and above. You want to book a reservation by calling 302-645-7670, or you can go to our website, delmarvalife.com, for the information. Just click on the show tab.
Well, that certainly sounds cool. Unless you're the one living inside the house, then it's probably not cool. And from ghosts and goblins to more Halloween fun with pumpkins.
Up next on Delmarva Life, we give you some out-of-the-box ideas for you and the kids to decorate your pumpkins. Delmarva Life, our Halloween show. We'll be right back.